Welcome to the Heroes of Gaming. This is a lore series in which we delve into the lives and times of some of gaming's most iconic heroes. So sit back, relax and enjoy, and if you find this video entertaining or informative, by all means show me some love by hitting the like button and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment down below. Okay, let's go. So today's hero of gaming is none other than the main protagonist of the last Final Fantasy game to be published on the original PlayStation, and in my mind it is the strongest game of the entire franchise, none other than Final Fantasy IX. Zidane Tribal. He is the main protagonist of Final Fantasy IX. He is a thief who works for the Tantalus Theatre Troupe, who are set out to kidnap the Princess of Alexandria, an event that escalates to a quest to protect the planet of Gaia. Zidane himself is laid back, casual, outgoing, and generally friendly to those around him. He is flirtatious with women, but develops strong feelings for Garnet specifically. When the situation calls for it, he can be more serious, particularly in the face of danger. Zidane cares for those around him, often offering them advice on life, and is selfless in his actions to a fault. He tries to conceal his insecurities and fight them alone. Zidane began his life as an angel of death. He doesn't know this at first, of course, but he was created by Garland, the ruler of the dead planet Terra. Long ago, the people of the dying planet Terra planned to save their civilization by assimilating with another planet. Unable to find a newly born planet to fuse with, they settled on assimilating with the young planet Gaia. Although not mentioned in the game, the Final Fantasy IX Ultimania elaborates that Garland had made the mistake of creating Kuja as an adult, which meant that he never experienced a childhood and thus never developed capacity for complex emotions, meaning Kuja would never be able to enter a trance on his own. The disastrous mix of power and underdeveloped emotions, which allowed Kuja to feel no remorse for his actions, was too much for Garland. He placed a limit on Kuja's life and created another genome to replace him, Zidane. Zidane was experimental in that he would live through a full life growing up as a child before developing into Garland's Angel of Death. Growing and learning through childhood would allow Zidane to feel complex emotions and grant him the power to enter trance, thus making him superior to Kuja. Kuja, infuriated by Garland's decision to create another genome, deposited Zidane on Gaia and abandoned him. Young Zidane, unaware of his mission, was found by Baku at the age of 4 and was raised by him as a member of the Tantalus Theatre Troupe in Limblum, only remembering one thing of his previous life, a blue light. Though a theatre troupe on the surface, the group is more akin to a band of thieves, and Zidane was raised in their ways. At 13, Zidane departed on a journey to seek out his origins and spent 2 years travelling. During this time, he met a Burmesian dragon knight called Freya. Although Zidane never discovered anything about his past, he came to realise that a, quote, home is where the heart is, and a place where he can return to any time, and thus returned to Baku and Tantalus in February of 1798. In April of 1798, while Zidane was pilfering the king's mansion in Trino, he unknowingly framed the king's bodyguard, Amarant, as the culprit. When Zidane later meets Amarant during his adventures, he no longer remembers the encounter. 12 years after Zidane was adopted into Tantalus, the group arrives at Alexandria on a mission appointed by Limblum's regent Cid to kidnap Princess Garnet. Although the mission is a success, The theatre ship's damaged during the escape and crashes into the evil forest. Baku wants to leave the forest, but Zidane insists on finding the missing Garnet first. He beats Baku in a sparring match to quit Tantalus and sets out to rescue the princess, bringing the black mage Vivi and an Alexandrian knight of Pluto, Adalbert Steiner, who had accidentally become embroiled in the kidnapping scheme, along with him. Saving the princess from the evil forest, Zidane and his companions escape, with Blank's help, another member of Tantalus, who ended up getting petrified along with the forest. The crew travels through the ice caverns where Black Waltz, one sent by Queen Brain to retrieve Garnet and her royal pendant, casts a sleeping spell upon them. Zidane alone resists and defeats the Black Waltz, reviving the others. Outside, he suggests Garnet abandon the formal mannerisms she grew up with and adopt an alias to shield her identity from the villagers of the nearby village Dali. Garnet, inspecting Zidane's weapon, decides to use the name Dagger. Upon discovering Dali is manufacturing black mage soldiers and delivering them to Alexandria, the group commandeers a cargo ship and sails to Limblum. Many concerns have arisen surrounding Alexandria and its queen. Zidane participates in the festival of the Hunt in Limblum, reuniting with his old friend Freya. Before the hunt begins, Zidane follows a singing voice to the Limblum Castle Observatory, finding Garnet, who is preoccupied about her mother and her inability to steer her country away from war. Zidane attempts to cheer her up, promising a date with her if he lands first place in the festival. The festivities are short-lived, however, as a dying Burmesian soldier alerts Regent Cid to an Alexandrian military force moving against Burmesia. Zidane tries to stop Garnet from returning to Alexandria to speak with her mother, but she sprinkles sleeping weed in the group's cuisine and absconds with Adalbert Steiner to return to Alexandria. Intent on saving Burmesia, Zidane, Freya and Vivi encounter Quina whilst travelling through Qu's Marsh and arrive at Gizamaluke's grotto, as it is lying under siege from the Alexandrian Black Mages, commanded by the Queen's jesters Zorn and Thorn. In Burmesia, Zidane attempts to help Freya find the king. They discover Queen Brain, General Beatrix, and a mysterious man named Kuja in the royal palace, and upon overhearing the king has escaped to Clara, the four challenge Beatrix. She bests them, and Zidane and his friends are left behind as the villains make haste to Clara. Zidane helps defend Clara, but Brain summons the Eidolon Odin to decimate the settlement. Zidane and company barely escape as they follow Beatrix's army through their own teleport spells, reappearing aboard Brain's airship, the Red Rose. They overhear Beatrix voicing her doubts about the Queen. They overhear Brain's plans to execute Garnet, who now lies captive in Alexandria. Her Eidolons extracted from her. Using teleportation magic, they arrive at Alexandria ahead of Brain, and with Steiner and Tantalus member Marcus's help, defeat Zorn and Thorn and find Garnet. As Freya, Steiner and a reformed Beatrix hold off the guards, Zidane, Garnet and Vivi escape through the underground tunnels to Pinnacle Rocks, where they watch Brain invade Limblum. Sneaking into the city, the group reunites with Cid and discusses their options. Deciding to go after Kuja, the source of Brain's weapons, they use a tunnel called Fossil Rue to cross to the outer continent. Encountering the Black Mage village on their travels, they stay for a while for Vivi. Zidane tells Garnet what he knows about his past and where he came from. They learn of Kuja's possible abode, the Lifer Tree, and along the way meet Eiko, a young summoner girl who develops a crush on Zidane. When she realises he is oblivious to her attempts at romantic overtones, she questions him about the relationship with Garnet. Zidane and Garnet share a moment on a boat on the shores of Maiden Sari, the abandoned village of the Summoners where Garnet was actually born, before she was inadvertently adopted into the royal family and given a new identity. Garnet asks Zidane about his reasons for helping her, upon which he is reminded of a parable about an adventurer named Ibsen, who had asked his travelling companion the same question, and Zidane responds in the same manner, "Because I wanted to." At the Life Tree's core, the party defeats the Soul Cage to stop the production of mist back into the Mist Continent, halting Alexandria's manufacturing of the Black Mages. Upon returning to Maiden Sari, they meet the bounty hunters Amarant and Lanny, who have been sent at the behest of Brain to collect Garnet's pendant that, unbeknownst to her, houses a powerful summoning gem. The former ends up joining the party, puzzled by Zidane's outlook on life, as Zidane refuses to kill him after besting him in a duel. Brain has turned against Kuja by this point and tracks him down at the Life Tree. Summoning Bahamut, Kuja enslaves the dragon and commands it to destroy Brain's fleet and to kill her. Zidane and the rest return to Alexandria, where Garnet is to become the new queen. As Garnet is to stay in Alexandria, Zidane is heartbroken at the prospect of losing her, though unable to express his feelings. Frustrated and unwilling to accept she must remain isolated as Alexandria's monarch, Zidane and his friends head to participate in the card tournament in Trino to get his mind off of things. Zidane makes it to the final round where he is challenged by Sid, but when Alexandria Castle comes under attack from Kuja, the group hurries back to Alexandria on Sid's new airship, the Hildegard II. Garnet and Eco summon Alexander, whom Kuja attempts to enslave, but Garland interferes. Flying in the Hildegard II, Zidane leads the group up onto the castle's apex and saves Garnet and Eco, as Garland destroys both Alexander and Alexandria. The party departs to Limblum, where the town is being rebuilt, and as the party discusses their next strategy, it is learned Garnet has lost her voice in response to the tragic events. Zidane decides to bring the party to pursue Kuja, but the Hildegard II is a failure as an airship and is dismantled, and they depart on the sailing ship Blue Narcissus instead. When they arrive at Kuja's home, the Desert Palace, the group is imprisoned on the Forgotten Continent. Whilst there, Zidane and his companions are astonished to find that Olivert, a haven of lost technological wonders from a long-gone civilization. Though Zidane does not know it, the artifacts were left by the people of his homeland, the Terrans. Zidane is the only one to decipher the writings on the Terran holograms, though he is unable to conclude what the predictions of the Terran downfall truly mean. The party retrieves the Gulag Stone and returns to Kuja, who kidnaps Eco and flees to the Lost Continent. Zidane and his friends follow and witness Eco's pet Moogle enter trance and save her, sparking Kuja's interest in the power of trance. Kuja departs and the party finds the airship has been using the Hildegard I and its owner, Queen Hilda herself, whom Kuja had kidnapped. The party returns to Limblum and Hilda and Sid are reunited. Garnet goes missing and Zidane ventures alone to Alexandria to find her at her mother's grave. Garnet asks for Zidane's dagger and cuts her hair with it, regaining her speech. They return to Limblum to unite with everyone else and learn from Hilda that Kuja hails from another world. Sid completes his newest airship, the Hildegard III, and the party ventures to Epstein's castle to unlock the portal to Terra. By now, Zidane has earned Amarant's respect, when he uses teamwork to retrieve the 4 elemental mirrors from the castle, saving Amaranth from his arrogant attempt at the spoils. With the mirrors collected and the elemental shrines cleared of guardians, Zidane directs Hildegard 3 to the Shimmering Island that reveals itself as the portal to Terra. The party jumps from the airship into the portal of Shining Light and emerges in Terra, where Zidane is led to the village of Bran Baal by a girl who resembles him. He is shocked to discover the town is inhabited by blonde-haired humanoids with tails. These are the other genomes Garland had created. A perplexed Zidane is given the basic details of his young years in Terra by the girl named Mikoto, and he resolves to meet Garland, his creator, and determine the truth of his life. Drained by Garland's revelations, Zidane confronts him. Garland explains Zidane is to be his angel of death, to deprive Gaia of its souls so Terra can assimilate it, but Zidane refuses to play any part in the plot. Garland attempts to remove Zidane's soul and to make him into a regular genome, and when Zidane wakes up in Pandemonium's depths, he falls into despair, believing everything he knew was a lie and that his only purpose is to assist in Gaia's destruction. When his friends come to his aid, Zidane shuns them. Remembering the times he helped her find the strength to carry on, Garnet pleads with him to let his friends believe in him as he believed in them. Zidane realises he has the power to determine his own purpose in life, protecting everyone he cares for. When the group faces Garland, Kuja appears and uses the souls within the airship Invincible to ascend to trance. He kills Garland, but after learning of the limit placed on his life and his impending death, he flies into a rage and decimates Terra. Zidane and his company commandeer the Invincible to evacuate Terra of the genomes and return to Gaia. Surmising Kuja would soon destroy Gaia as well, Zidane resolves to pursue him into Memoria, an abyss of the planet's memories that has manifested above the Lifer tree. Memoria's fathomless reaches contain memories from every age of Gaia, as well as memories of its people. Travelling through Memoria takes Zidane and his friends back in time, all the way to the root of all life. The crystal in the crystal world, where they face Trance Kuja. Upon his defeat, Kuja blasts the party with a powerful Ultima spell, and they are transported to the Hill of Despair, where the omniscient harbinger of death, Necron, seeks to return everything to a zero world, believing non-existence is the only means of expunging the fear of death from the living that makes their existence perpetual suffering. Zidane expresses hopes for the future and trusts his friends, and together they defeat Necron. Necron senses the strong will to live in Zidane and his friends and dissipates. A dying Kuja teleports the group out of the Hill of Despair and returns them to the outside of the Lifer tree. As his friends say their goodbyes and depart with Sid on the Hildegard 3, Zidane stays behind to try to save Kuja. Evading Lifer tree's crazed roots, as the dying tree is writhing, Zidane makes it to the tree's core, where he finds Kuja near death. Kuja, his trance gone, apologises to Zidane for all he has done before the tree consumes both of them. With Zidane thought dead, time passes until Tantalus returns to Alexandria to perform I Want to Be Your Canary for the now Queen Garnet. At the play's climax, the character Marcus casts off his cloak, revealing Zidane. Garnet runs out of the castle, leaps into his arms, and the couple embrace as the friends and audience cheer on. This brings to an end one of the most amazing stories in any RPG game, period, let alone a simple Final Fantasy. The love story between Zidane and Garnet puts even Romeo and Juliet to shame. If you have not played any Final Fantasy game, I would recommend starting with Final Fantasy IX, as this high fantasy tale of friendship, struggle and love will leave you pining for more. Thank you for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. Come back for more gaming lore videos here at Boutus Gaming. If you enjoyed this video or found it informative, or both, by all means leave a subscribe, leave a like. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Engaging with this small channel will help us grow. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.